I am so excited hanging out with country queen, Michelle Wright.
Yay!
You were amazing, first off, I just have to say, today on stage at the Big Valley Jamboree. I'm such a huge fan.
Thank you. It was so fun.
When you were on stage today, you sang Crank Crank Tractor. You said you're from a small town, you're a farm girl.
Yeah.
This is a small town thing, because I'm from a small town too. How big is your small town?
500.
Oh, I got you beat, because mine's 100.
That is so awesome.
Right, 4 streets, 3 avenues. It's just tiny. And now you're a farm girl too.
Yes, I am.
So am
yeah,
I.
Yeah.
What was your favorite thing about growing up on the farm? Your favorite farm memory?
I loved growing up on the farm. You know, it really sort of set, by the way, I think, maybe the palette of my life about how and why I was able to set certain goals and certain ideas and achieve them. It's because we were soybean farmers. And so you'd get up in the morning, you had to hoe the soybeans. And it's like, you got to start here, and by the end of the day, you have to be over there. Or we would cultivate, or we would plow, or we would have to get the bins off to the mill, you know. And so every day on the farm, there's like goals that had to be set, things that had to be completed during a certain period of time. And so my whole life has kind of been run that way. Like I would get up every morning as I was pursuing my music career and have certain goals that I would want to have done by the end of the day, or the end of this week, or the end of. So I think just for me, the great memories of working hard and feeling that sense of satisfaction and accomplishment at the end of the day when we're all sitting around the supper table and the field is done, and then we're going to get up tomorrow morning as the dew is still on the ground and go and do it again.
And all over again.
Yes.
The work never ends, and that obviously set you up well for your music career.
Yep.
You have a new album coming out August 26th. It's called Milestones. Tell us a little bit about that album and your journey to get there, because you were talking, Take It Like a Man came out in '92, so 30 years later, and there's a new version of it on the album.
Well, that is Milestone that came about as a result of, you know, so COVID happened, right? And we were sort of like just kind of like talking about making a new record and what will we do and all the rest. And then it occurred to both my manager and I, 2022 is going to be the 30th anniversary of the release of Take It Like a Man, the song that changed my life and changed my career, and just, I can't wait. I looked down on my set list and I can't wait to sing that song. I still love to sing it today. Yeah. Thank God. So that was the catalyst. It was just like, all right, we really need to celebrate this. We cannot let this go by without celebrating that milestone in my career, that here I am 30 years later after the release of that song. So we re-recorded Take It Like a Man, but we really didn't change anything about it. Same key, same arrangement and everything, because you don't want to mess with that magic, you know.
Why would you press
right?
perfection
And the reason why we re-recorded it was just because technology today, sonically, we want it to still, if you guys want to play it or anybody wants to play it, it's competitive sonically, right? Because it still is a competitive song, so it just sonically needed to be competitive. And then we have 9 new songs on there, and 4 that I wrote, and also the other 6 songs are songs that I've held on to, some of them for 30 years, another song for 20 years. I've held on to these pieces of this because, you know, it's not, this record is really a combination of my country music influences, and I was raised just across the border from Detroit, so a lot of Motown influence in there as well. And some of these songs were like, well, wait a minute, that's just not country enough. It's a little too Motown, or it's a little. Now, of course, in this era, now it's fine, right? But back there 20 years ago, 30 years ago, I couldn't get these songs cut. So I finally cut them all, and there's I think there's some real treasures there, and some new songs, and of course a remake of Take It Like a Man.
And that's awesome. What I love about your music is that your music spans generations. I got my love of music from my dad. He was big into music. That's how I started listening to country music. Him and my mom, they got me into it. And I just have the coolest story, and spanning generations and making new fans, because you're still making new fans this day.
So
the last time I saw you was 3 years ago in Nashville at the Bluebird Cafe.
Wow.
You were there on a Canadian night with Derek Rutan and Jason Blaine.
So fun.
And the Bluebird is amazing, and people don't think it's as small as what it is, but it is. So as girls do, you go to the washroom, you're waiting in line. I was chatting with a couple of ladies from New York. They were so excited to be there, and they turned to me and they're like, do you know who any of these artists are? And I was like, actually, yes, I do. I was like, so I was telling them that, you know, they're big deals here in Canada, and I was telling them about you, how you were like the queen of Canadian country music. And they were like, oh, like, and they were having fun, and they found me at the end of the night, and they're like, we love these guys. We're going to go home and find their music. So, like, you're still making fans. That was 3 years ago, and I will never forget that. Like, that was just an amazing night.
That is a wonderful story. I'm so glad you shared that with me. And you know what I love as a Canadian artist? First off, I love to see how well Canadian artists are doing right in our country alone, right? But I also love the fact that the way we can share our music now, not only at places like the Bluebird, but just sort of the way music is shared now through streaming and face all of it. I start saying one thing, and you know what I'm talking about, the expanse of how Canadians can be exposed now with their music, and Canadian artists are doing wonderful because they should be, right? It's maybe your listeners probably already know this, but sometimes without that major label record deal and that opportunity to have a support team to expose your music internationally, some of our great talents don't get to be heard like they should be, right? Yeah. But with what's going on today in the world, I think we're seeing Canadian artists getting the type of attention they deserve, and I love it.
Rightfully so, because we have so much talent here in
wonderful.
Canada, and you were kind of just paving the way for all that talent.
Yeah, I took that route at that time through the major label thing, and it was great, and I definitely waved the Canadian flag, and I do that to this day. Yeah.
Well, we love it. So Milestone out August 26th. Everybody needs to go and get it. I'm excited to listen to the new
It's
songs.
A really good record, guys. I'm not kidding you. I tell you, it's good. You're going to feel some stuff right to the core of your soul, and other things are just going to make you want to smile and dance and tap your toe. I mean, I really am very proud of this. I will let me just share something with you. This record really is sort of the most authentic, just that I didn't spend a whole lot of time around boardroom tables making decisions. I have always wanted to cut these songs. I want to cut those ones that boom, 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 and we just did it. And I think it's magical, and I can't wait for you to hear it.
I am so excited.
And I never say that about my own music,
well,
so I might be a little boasty sounding, but I just want you to know that I think you're really going to feel this record, and that's something I'm very excited about.
Well, I can't wait to listen to it, and I can't wait till you come back to either the Big Valley Jamboree or make your way back to Edmonton. Thanks for chatting with us, Michelle. We know you need to get on the road, so.
We got a 3 a.m. lobby call out of Edmonton to Nashville tomorrow. I don't like that part, but that time on stage makes all that worth it.
Makes it worth it. Well, thank you so much for squeezing us in. It was a pleasure chatting with you.
Thank you.